file item 114, I'm sorry, file item 114, Senator Mendoza. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1270 by Assembly Member Eduardo Garcia, an act relating to workforce development.
Senator Mendoza.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, I'm here to present AB 1270 by Assembly Members Eduardo Garcia and Roger Hernandez, which provides a comprehensive update to California's primary workforce development program to reflect the new requirements of the Federal Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act of 2014. This measure is one of two bills sponsored by the Labor Agency related to the Federal Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act of 2014. AB 1270 is a one-year measure designed to make the most immediate and primary technical changes. My bill, AB 45, is a two-year measure designed for the larger policy negotiations. AB 1270 has received unanimous support in committees, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, to better discussion on this item. Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to using our unanimous roll call? There is objection. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? Bates? Aye. Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Aye. Block? Aye. Canella? Aye. De Leon? Aye. Fuller? Aye. Gaines? Aye. Galgiani? Aye. Glazer? Aye. Hall? Hancock? Hall, aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Wesso? Aye. Huff? Aye. Jackson? Aye. Lara? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Monning? Morlock? Morrell? Wynn? Aye. Nielsen? Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? Stone? Aye. Vidak? Aye. Wykowski? Aye. Wolk? Anderson, aye.
Call the absent members.
Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? Aye. Morrell? Nielsen? Aye. Runner? Wolk?
Ayes 37, no 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 124, members. Senator Hernandez, not at his desk. File item 126, Senator Liu. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 715 by Assembly Member Daley, an act relating to land use.
Senator Liu.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill is AB 715 is a bill that's technical in nature and clarifies the definition of accessible space, which impacts developer fees paid to local school districts. Under current statute, walkways are not considered accessible space. AB 715 simply states that putting a cover on that walkway should not change the outcome. This clarification will ensure that all school districts and building officials across California interpret the law consistently. Furthermore, the bill will not change the amount of developer fees collected. I ask for your support on this bill.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 133, Senator Monning. Are you prepared to take up this item? Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 539 by Assembly Member Levine, an act relating to search warrants.
Senator Monning.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, AB 539 will improve boating safety by providing law enforcement the ability to test the blood of a boater suspected of operating a vessel while under the influence. This ability is already permitted under law for motorists on our streets and highways. AB 539 simply extends that ability to law enforcement investigating and prosecuting those boating under the influence. Members, I ask that you join me in advancing this important public safety measure by voting aye on AB 539. Thank you.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing, hearing none, is there objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, no 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 134, Senator Stone. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1104 by Assemblymember Rodriguez, an act relating to search warrants.
Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. AB 1104 would clarify that a search warrant for controlled substances is already authorized in the Health and Safety Code by referencing such provision in Penal Code. Under current law, the issuance of search warrants is limited to cases involving felony offenses. Due to the recent reclassification of specific crimes, it's become necessary to clarify that the authority to seek and obtain a search warrant for controlled substance possession is already provided in the Health and Safety Code. AB 1104 would make a reference of such provision in Penal Code 1524, which is the statute that generally describes the situations in which search warrants may be issued. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there objection to using our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, noes 0. The measure passes. Members, we're going to move back to file item 124. Senator Hernandez. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1149 by Assemblymember Wood, an act relating to public health emergencies and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Senator Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Hospital Preparedness Program allocates federal money to support preparedness in the face of public health emergencies, terror attacks, natural disasters, epidemic illness, etc. Funds for the program are administered through the non-competitive grant process at the CDPH Emergency Preparedness Office. Historically, trade associations have been key assets to the program as they are naturally structured for education and outreach to membership. In 2014, the CDPH rendered a new interpretation of the Health and Safety Code. They determined that because associations are not specifically identified in the code, they can't participate. This bill simply adds the word trade associations to the code, allowing them to be able to serve in the program. This change will also save valuable CDPH resources, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk.
Please call the absent members.
Allen. Aye. Canella. Aye. Huff. Lada. Aye. Runner. Wolk.
Ayes 37 on the urgency, ayes 37 on the measure. The measure passes. Members, moving to file item 135. Senator Mendoza. Secretary, please
He's
read.
talking to me.
Assembly Bill 1308 by Assemblymember Perea, an act relating to employment.
Senador Mendoza.
Thank you, Mr. President. AB 1308 by Assemblymember Perea would provide a technical fix that will strengthen the state's apprenticeship program by establishing basic but necessary procedures for the approval of new building and construction trades apprenticeship programs. Specifically, AB 1308 would require a pattern of unfulfilled requests by contractors to be established before approval of new apprenticeship programs. It would also provide technical fixes to remove the special circumstances provision in the labor code that is no longer needed because the bill further defines when a program is deficient. This provides protections to existing union and non-union programs that graduate apprentices and properly invests in apprenticeship training. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing here none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson? No. Bates? Bell? Aye. Berryhill? No. Block? Aye. Canella? Aye. De Leon? Fuller? Gaines? Galgiani? Aye. Glazer? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Hueso? Aye. Huff? Jackson? Aye. Lara? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Monning? Aye. Morlock? No. Morrell? No. Wynn? No. Nilsson? No. Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? Stone? No. Vidak? No. Wykowski? Aye. Wolk?
Call the absent members.
Fuller, no. Allen? Aye. Bates? No. De Leon? Gaines? No. Huff? Mitchell? Aye. Huff, no. Wolk? De Leon, aye.
Call the absent members.
Runner? Wolk?
Ayes 26, noes 12. The measure passes. Members, is there any other item you would like to bring up under Assembly third reading? Senator Galgiani, for what purpose do you rise?
File item number 103, AB 345.
Members, that's file item 103. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 345 by Assemblymember Frazier, an act relating to real estate licensees.
Senator Galgiani.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Current law requires a real estate broker to exercise reasonable supervision over the activities of his or her salespersons. AB 345 would earmark 3 hours of a real estate broker's existing 45 hours of continuing education for a course on the management and supervision of real estate licensed activity. AB 345 makes an important change to the real estate law by providing guidance to brokers on how to properly manage real estate office, salespersons, and broker associates. This bill has enjoyed bipartisan support and received no no votes. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, the better discussion on this item. The better discussion. Seeing here none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Anderson? Aye. Bates? Aye. Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Aye. Block? Aye. Canella? Aye. De Leon? Aye. Fuller? Aye. Gaines? Aye. Galgiani? Aye. Glazer? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Hill? Aye. Hueso? Aye. Huff? Aye. Jackson? Aye. Lara? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? Aye. Morrell? Wynn? Aye. Nilsson? Aye. Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? Stone? Aye. Vidak? Aye. Wykowski? Aye. Wolk?
Call the absent members.
Allen? Aye. Hancock? Hertzberg? Morrell? Aye. Runner? Wolk?
Call the absent members.
Hancock? Hertzberg? Hancock, aye. Hertzberg? Runner? Wolk?
Ayes 37, no 0. The measure passes. Senator Hall.
Yes, President, file item 65.
File item 65, members. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 76 by Assemblymember Jones relative to the 800th anniversary of Magna Carta.
Senator Hall.
Thank you, Mr. President and Senators. ACR 76 commemorates the 800th anniversary of the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta was the first constitutional text and was the early milestone on the path towards freedom and democracy in the United States and other democratic countries. The ideologies of the Magna Carta served as an inspiration for many important historical documents, including the Mayflower Compact, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As long as people celebrate freedom under the law, the Magna Carta will remain the great charter of liberties. I encourage everyone to join me in observing this important milestone in history. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, the bill discussion on this item. Senator Nielsen.
Thank you, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, and thank you, Senator Hall, for bringing this measure before the state Senate. The magnificent charter truly was a historic moment in world history. It was one of the foundational documents for our Constitution. And it demonstrated that the absolute rule of a monarch did not have to prevail. And that kind of presaged what happened with King George and our United States of America, our revolution. The magnificent charter, truly, it is that charter. Urgent aye.
Members, additional debate or discussion on this item. Senator Hall, would you like to close? Senator Hall? Senator Hall, would you like to
Yes.
close?
Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Wesso. I. Huff. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nielsen. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. Runner. Stone. I. Vidak. Wykowski. I. Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Allen. I. De Leon. Huff. I. Mitchell. I. Nielsen. I. Roth. I. Runner. Vidak. I. Wolk.
Ayes 37, no 0. The resolution is adopted. Senator Hall.
Yes, Mr. President, file item 109.
File item 109, members. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 774 by Assemblymember Levine, enacting to alcoholic beverages.
Senator Hall.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President and Senators. AB 774 allows limited beer tastings at certified markets, farmers markets, and grants nonprofits the ability to receive donated beer for the use as an auction item. The bill has received no votes, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item. Debate or discussion. Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Wesso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nielsen. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wykowski. I. Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Allen. I. Bell. De Leon. Runner. Wolk.
Ayes 36, no zero. The measure passes. Members, is there any other item you would like to take up today under the Assembly third reading? Very well, we'll move to the consent calendar. Members, we're moving to the consent calendar. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1002, 1049, 1085, 1541, 658, 81, 163, 424, 439, 467.
The consent calendar will be adopted. Oh, we gotta do the roll call. We gotta do the roll. Yes, sorry. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Wesso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leyva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. I. Pan. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wykowski. I. Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Allen. I. Bell. De Leon. Pan. I. Runner. Wolk.
Ayes 36, no zero. The consent calendar is adopted. Members, we're going to move back to Senate third reading. If there's any items that members would like to take up, beginning with file item 25. File item 25, Senator Fuller. Oh, right. Members, any additional items you'd like to take up on Senate third reading? What item? File item 28, Senator Gaines. Pass on file. File item 33, Senator Pan. Pass on file. Okay. Members, we're going to move to motions and resolutions. Is there any adjourn in memories? Senator Hall.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to recognize a historic week in the United States where 9 states, the District of Columbia, and some of our nation's largest retailers all decided that the racist, hateful image of the Confederate flag has no place in the halls or steps of government or on shelves of places where our families shop. In just the past week, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky, Maryland, North Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and the District of Columbia have all taken steps to remove the Confederate flag and other Confederate items from state grounds. Retailers such as Walmart, Sears, Amazon, eBay, and others quickly moved to remove items containing this image of hate from their shelves and their websites. They showed courage. They did the right thing. They told us all that hate is not for sale in America. They told us that this treasonous image of a shameful past would not be part of this nation's future. Given the lightning speed that these states and businesses have acted to remove this racist symbol, one might have thought that when California did the right thing, led the nations once again, and banned the sale of the display of the Confederate flag last year with my bill, AB 244, it would have sailed through with little to no opposition. The reality is that we did, in fact, have some opposition, but yet we sailed through it, and with that opposition, we were still able to lead this nation by banning the Confederate flag. I am the son of a woman who was raised under segregated education and education laws in Texas. I am the son of a man who was literally chased out of segregated Louisiana because of the color of his skin. I am the son of many African Americans who came to California seeking justice and equality for themselves and their families. California was ultimately was on the right side of history, and Governor Brown showed great courage and foresight in signing this bill into law and telling the nation that California would not promote racism and violence towards others. We have a great deal of work ahead of us still, and I look towards and forward to working with my members of the Senate to move and remove all type of images that display acts of racism. The steps of these states and businesses are real steps towards a more inclusive nation, and California has once again led the discussion to build a union that is inclusive and welcoming to all people. Thank you.
Bernie. Members, we're going to move back to governor's appointments. Senator De Leon.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Colleagues, we have before us file item number 17, Celia McGinnis, who was heard in the Rules Committee on June 17th. She passed on a 3-2 vote. Ms. McGinnis is a managing attorney in the Bay Area. This position is for a member on the Commission of Disability Access. She is highly qualified to be a member on this commission, and she will work diligently to promote disability access throughout the state of California. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, the better discussion on this item. Better discussion. Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Anderson? No. Bates? Bell? Berryhill? Block? Canella? De Leon? Aye. Fuller? No. Gaines? Galgiani? Aye. Glazer? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Wesso? Aye. Huff? No. Jackson? Aye. Lada? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? No. Morrell? No. Wynn? No. Nielsen? No. Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? Stone? No. Vidak? No. Wachowski? Aye. Wolk?
All the absent members.
Allen? Aye. Bates? No. Bell? Berryhill? Block? Aye. Canella? No. Gaines? No. Mendoza. Aye. Runner. Wolk. Berryhill, aye.
Call the absent members.
Berryhill, aye. Berryhill, aye to no. Bell. Runner. Wolk.
Ayes 24, noes 13. The appointment is confirmed in. File item 18, members. Senator De Leon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, we have several appointments before us for the California Commission on Disability Access. They are Steve Dolam, Christopher Downey, as well as Laurie Yu. We also have the Contractors State License Board, that is Susan Granzella. And lastly, we have the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Education. That is the great president of Cal State University of Northridge. That is Diane Harrison. These appointments were also heard on June 17th, and I'll pass on a unanimous vote. No opposition, 5-0. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, the better discussion on this item. Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wesso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk.
Call the absent members.
Allen. Aye. Bell. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Runner. Wolk.
Ayes 38, no 0. The appointments are confirmed in. Members, the desk is clear. If there's no other business, Senator De Leon, the desk is clear.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Colleagues, have a wonderful, productive weekend with your constituents, your family, with your loved ones. We will reconvene for floor session on Monday, not at 2 o'clock, so please make arrangements, especially those from Southern California, but at 12 o'clock. We will be convening 12 o'clock come this Monday. Again, have a very wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Senator De Leon. The Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Monday at noon. Have a good weekend, members.